At this point in our series, we're looking at the Middle Permian, about 265 million years ago. Now think about how long ago that was. 200 million years before the time that the dinosaurs went extinct. If you started in the Permian 265 million years ago, and then went another 265 million years even further back in time, you'd get to episode 6 of this series in the early Cambrian, when multicellular animals just started to get interesting. So where I am now, in the Middle Permian, is as far from the Cambrian explosion as you are in the modern day. And yet, we're 18 episodes into this series and we still haven't gotten up to the time of the dinosaurs yet. In the last episode, we looked at therapsids, the first animals to show signs of being warm-blooded. We can't tell exactly when they started raising their temperature, but we see subsequent adaptations to accommodate that. The first indications that show up in fossils is a change in proportions of bodily extremities. The most notable of these changes is a reduction in the length of the tail to better preserve warmth. In a previous episode of this series, I mentioned classic cars and the evolution of automobiles to explain parallels in biological evolution. That's a useful illustration here too, so I'll use it again. When I was born, American automobiles were big, long boats, and if you ever get a chance to ride in one, they kind of float. Their suspension's really bad. And part of the problem was that they had these huge trunks that dragged way behind the back tires. And the manufacturers did that on purpose because they thought that was the best way to support the weight of the car, but it really hurt the handling. Then they came out with pony cars with a little trunk and a tiny back seat, so the back end of the car was a lot closer to the back wheels, and those cars could corner a lot better. And similarly, the evolution of amphibious forms into mammal-like reptiles once saw these huge, thick tails dragging behind those back legs in much the same way, whereas therapsids began to reduce those long tails. They don't drag on the ground anymore, and they don't hold you back, and they're actually better at balancing the animal while running or climbing or jumping or whatever. And this is necessary because warm-blooded animals are much more active and energetic than crocodiles and lizards ever could be. This first indication of endothermy was immediately followed by a suite of others in the next lineage that we look at, theriodonts, which means they have mammal-like teeth.